Alright, in this video we're talking about getting the total points for the chicken coop design from 50 points really up to somewhere about 80 points on here. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of these steps in this video. So here's an exemplar project from a couple years ago. But what Ava put there, the first thing she listed were just some of the needs. What were the needs of the animal she's designing for? So for hers, it was chicken coops, so ways to keep them warm, little stalls to lay eggs in, room to move around, and she needs chickens, and a way for the chickens to get inside and outside easily, obviously to lock it up so that they're safe, warm enough but not too hot in the summer, so ventilation, ways to retrieve the eggs, and clean the coop. She had an image that she liked. It's a coop kind of built into a shed type room. That was her inspiration. Here's where she has a list of all the supplies that she ended up using, which is really important. This is something that you will need to track. So in the end, hers ended up costing over $500, and you should be able to tell us how much yours is going to end up costing also, depending on the size and the materials that you're using, and the quantity of materials. One thing that Ava has done is she's created all of her parts and set them out. So you can see this is a 2x4 by 8, I believe, beveled drawing. So this is an 8-foot plank that has been cut down to whatever the appropriate length is, which she specified on here, and it's got a bevel cut on both sides, and that's because it's going to, when it comes together at the top. Here's one of the front or side pieces with all the important dimensions on it. And so we can go through all of her drawing files and find out what are all these pieces that she made. And she has good technical names for all of them so that they're all unique names so we don't get confused. And she's got all the important dimensions for each one. Some are simple, some are a little more complex. Alright, and then we see an assembly. Here's her assembled chicken house or shed. Another thing she puts in here which is required is a parts list and balloons. Okay, those will be some of the points that you'll be getting, parts list and balloons. She has a nice rendered image here, which she took an image and put it behind it, which is nice. So she's got her rendered image as if it was sitting on a farm somewhere. So that looks good. She has a nice exploded view, so it really shows the framing that she did inside. That's basically the skeleton of the chicken frame to make sure it's nice and strong. And then she enclosed it with plywood all around the sides and on top, obviously for the roof. And you can see the beveled cuts on those roof trusses. Okay, so that's all needed. You can also see how she elevated her chicken coop up off the ground. That's important to prevent rotting. Typically you'll use a pressure treated wood. It's got an antimicrobial in it material which prevents rotting, so it can last for 20 or 30 years instead of just 2 or 3 to prevent the rotting. Let's see, she also has a nice little shot right here where she's removed some of the pieces, so that at the top and one of the sides she removed, so we can really see how all the framing was pieced out. That's a great view that she put in there. Alright, so that will get you, everything that Ava did right there will get her up to about the 80 points. Now what she didn't include was the step-by-step build instructions, the build of the final product, or the cardboard prototype, which she did do last year. She brought that in, and then the presentation for the class. So what you saw in Ava's project would bring you up to the 80 points part.